Ma riesci a Spagna? Media. My name is Nonkule Okane. I am the head of communication for the SAPS. We apologize for the delayed start, but the Minister of Police is here. Media briefing that will outline the 3 days that we had this week of the National Policing Summit, which is the first one ever to be hosted within the South African Police Service. Let me outline and acknowledge members of the panel that are joining us this morning for this media briefing. Let me acknowledge the presence of the Minister of Police, Minister Sendro Nkunu, Deputy Minister of Police, Mr. Castle Matale, the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, General Fanima Simula, the National Head of the DPCI, Lieutenant General Dr. Advocate Libya, Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, Lieutenant General FBI and the CEO of PSiRA, Mr. Manabela Chauki. Members of the media, the Minister of Police will take us through the overview of the policing summit that we had from Tuesday at the Emperor's Palace, Tuesday the 8th of April. And thereafter, the National Commissioner will then take us through the deliberations that were held during the policing summit and the way forward. Without a further waste of time, allow me to take this opportunity and call upon to the podium the Minister of Police, Mr. Sendro Nkunu. Minister, over to you.
Thank you very much. Letting us this presentation. Mr. National Commission and all the protocols are observed as indicated. And morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, and because this week we convened our 3-day National Policy Summit, which commenced this Tuesday, the 8th of April, and ended yesterday. We had a singular honor of His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa rendering an opening address to the summit, which we appreciate. In that summit, there were officials from SAPS, there were other law enforcement agencies, organized labor, members of academia, health professionals, partners from the private sector, and civil society organizations, and all of them, and that includes community policy forums, all of them engaged in robust discussions and made very meaningful contributions during various commissions that we had. I must say that it was very refreshing to see South Africans passionate not only on policy, but about the safety and security of our country and its citizens. So we're here this morning to account to the citizens of South Africa and provide them with a broad summary of what we did in the summit in those 3 days. Our summit was held under the theme Efficiency in Action. Efficiency in Action, optimizing South Africa's policing potential. And this fits squarely with our goal, the realization of an efficient, effective, and responsive, proactive and professional police service. The summit is conceptualized not as a once-off, not minister, not national commissioner linked, but we wish that it could be a standard practice held every 5 years. 3 key priorities have been set for the 7th administration, namely driving inclusive growth and job creation, reducing poverty and building a capable, ethical, and developmental state. These priorities serve as a guide as we address the challenges from a safety and security point of view that hamper us from achieving what we've set out to achieve. There are 4 provinces which we classify as hotspots, and for that reason, we're focusing on dealing decisively with crimes in these provinces, namely Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, and Western Cape, while without losing any focus on others as well. Our top priorities are reducing murder, removing unnecessary firearms from communities, removing drugs, fighting GBV&F together with other role players, and of course other related crimes that are on the increase as we observe, including kidnappings, extortions, cash in transit, heist, and stock theft. On all of these crimes, plans are underway to bring all these crimes under control effectively. As a means of effectively reducing crime, we have identified several key enablers, inclusive of using and improving our technology, strengthening our crime intelligence, capacitating and upskilling our detective services, improving and expanding our forensic services, and improving the general environment under which police officers work. The Employee Health and Wellness Workshop, convened in February this year, sought to address all SAPS internal issues at work that relate to their personal matters and conditions of service. These were processed through various commissions and now endorsed by the summit. Going forward, we assist with the implementation of these resolutions. We have made mention of the budgetary constraints, but we have also committed on maximizing the budget allocated and the resources of at our disposal. Business has also come on board, and we are delighted that they have actively come on board. Through our partnership, there are projects aimed at capacitating particularly our detective services, improving on our technology, and increasing our laboratories. But also in terms of partnerships, we are delighted that our partnerships with metros in particular is moving from strength to strength. The people of South Africa demand policing that is efficient, effective, and accountable. The people of South Africa demand a police service that is worthy of their trust. And most importantly, the people of South Africa demand that we act. As I conclude, I want to reaffirm our commitment. And indeed, we are committing to realizing an efficient, effective, and responsible police service, one that reflects the values and aspirations of our democracy. And this is a non-negotiable. And at this stage, I will request that the National Commissioner come forward and take you through the details of more detail on what we went through in this, or the outcomes of our summit. Thank you. National Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Skulu, the Deputy Minister of Police, Mr. Kasim Makale, CEO of PSiRA, Mr. Chauke, National Head of PSiRA, and General Dr. Advocate Libya, Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, Mr. General Superior, National Commissioner present, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the media, good morning. We receive our greetings this morning on behalf of South African Police Service. As per the Minister's overview, we address this media briefing at the backdrop of having concluded a significant, highly constructive and successful 3 days maiden national policing summit. Over the past 3 days, we progressively engaged with seasoned researchers and leaders, business sectors, subject matter experts, and community structures on how to turn the tide, recalibrate and position the South African Police Service for the future we collectively envision. The Policing Summit 2025 themed Efficiency in Action, Optimizing South Africa's Policing Potential was convened to address high crime rate, reduced public confidence in law enforcement, operating under increasing demands and resources. During the deliberations, we assessed the current state and performance of SAPS focused operational efficiencies, and we identified pragmatic strategies that will improve and advance strategically positioning SAPS to ensure long-term relevance, heightened professionalism, and the restoration of public trust. Ladies and gentlemen, in making this momentum hosting the Policing Summit and to demonstrate the unwavering commitment to the SAPS, to the summit resolutions and program of action, the SAPS will establish a National Policing Summit 2025 operations room. This facility will be used as a permanent scoreboard where we'll check and trace progress on the resolution of the summit periodically for the next 5 years. We believe that this significant move will hold the management of SAPS accountable to the nation as we commit to the repositioning policing in this country. This will equally respond to the directive of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, during his address at the opening of the Policing Summit on Tuesday, 8 April 2025, when he reiterated the importance of positioning the principle at the center of policing and reduce violent crime by half in the country. In line with the Policing Summit program of action, the SAPS, in collaboration with other key stakeholders, will outline the implementation plan with clear indication of the immediate, medium, and long-term deliverables, which is aligned to the SAPS Strategic Plan 2025-2030 and equally supported by the ministerial priorities and the medium-term development plan. At its core, the summit sought to create a collaborative, multi-sectoral platform for first, critically assess the current state and performance of the SAPS, exploring the root causes of operational inefficiencies, engaging diverse voice debate, present and reflect on what is working and what is not in the current policing approach. Identify the pragmatic strategies that can enhance the service's ability to deliver safety and security more effectively. The summit's focus was not on theoretical discussion alone, but rather on diagnosing real operational challenges, understanding community perceptions, and analyzing systemic shortcomings. The summit placed special emphasis on rethinking how SAPS can maximize its impact within existing constraints while positioning itself for long-term relevance, professionalism, and enhancing public trust in policing. Reflections on key themes and discussions. The first one was police presence versus visibility, reimagining service delivery. The first day of the summit interrogated the difference between being seen and being felt in communities. While the SAPS often reports on patrols and deployments, the quality and impact of these efforts on safety perceptions was central to the conversation. Discussions reflected a disconnect between visible policing efforts and the actual community safety outcomes, prompting a call for a more intentional, impact-focused presence. Experts and community representatives explored how evidence-based police models have already demonstrated success in certain localities, highlighting the need to scale and replicate those models. The discussions addressed the importance of police behavior and conduct during interactions with the public. Poor conduct erodes public trust, while ethical and professional engagement foster cooperation. Participants reflected on how small day-to-day interactions shape broader public attitudes towards SAPS. A notable thread through all discussions was the recognition that active citizenry, community involvement in crime prevention is not just desirable but essential. Sessions emphasized practical steps for creating structured and partnership that support this. Second one was adapting to the evolving policing landscape. They too were structured to reflect on the complex and dynamic environment in which the SAPS operates. The discussions were wide-ranging, recognizing the challenge that demand adaptability, agility, and system thinking. The integrated crime and violence prevention strategy served as a foundation for plenary discussion, offering a whole of government, whole of society approach. Presenters and panelists explored how global crime networks, local gang activity, and transnational organized crime, threats like human trafficking and terrorism are shaping the crime landscape. Environmental design and demographic dynamics, including rapid urbanization, population growth, migration patterns, were highlighted as pressure points that directly affect policing demand and infrastructure requirements. Sessions challenge SAPS to rethink station configurations, resource allocation, and service delivery models to address high crime areas. Firearm control and the proliferation of explosive and ammunition were discussed with agencies, recognizing the significant impact of ideal weapons that have on violent crime and limitations on current legislative enforcement. Each discussion framed policing not as an isolated service, but as a node within a wider ecosystem of safety, which requires coordination across all tiers of government, civil society, and the private sector. Third was harnessing technology for a safer South Africa. The afternoon of day two shifted attention to technology as a transformative tool in the modernization of policing. The session interrogated both current applications and future potential, asking how SAPS can innovate responsibly and effectively. The summit discussions address real-time crime tracking, GIS mapping, artificial intelligence-driven analytics, and predictive policing. Participants discussed how these technologies can help SAPS anticipate criminal activity and deploy. Emphasis was placed on data quality, interoperability of systems, and the critical need for digital literacy within the CPS. Several discussions raised the issue of station infrastructure and how underinvestment in ICT hardware, security, and connectivity continues to hinder technology uptake. Community engagement was a recurring concern, particularly on how digital platforms could be used to create new accessible channels for reporting crime, sharing information, and building accountability. The role of technology in solving complex crime, particularly in areas like digital forensics, intelligence gathering, was explored with practical examples of local innovation and international best practice. Police safety and station security were also addressed with experts showing panic alert systems, CCTV, and threat detection technologies that can mitigate the risk of officers and the infrastructure. Technology was consistently framed not as an end itself, but as a means to improve decision making, increase response time, and enhance community safety. Fourth one was excellence in policing, building a skilled and professional workforce. Day 3 of the summit opened with the results of the SAPS morale survey, which painted a picture of low morale, high stress, and operational fatigue among police personnel. This became a powerful backdrop for discussions on organizational culture and performance. The summit deliberation focused on how human capital development, including more vigorous recruitment processes such as integrity testing, targeted upskilling, and leadership transformation. It was also resolved that putting the right people into policing, those with integrity, resilience, and the right temperament was fundamental to service excellence. The psychological well-being featured prominently. The summit explored how the trauma of daily exposure to violence affects performance, judgment, and long-term health. The session on career development and mentorship underscored the need to move beyond compliance, training towards deliberate leadership, pipelines, and structured professional growth pathways. A core reflection was that professionalism is not a static standard, but a culture that must be nurtured through consistent values, recognition of good work, and accountability for poor performance. Leadership with integrity was described as a cornerstone of a credible and effective SAPS. The discussion advocated for stronger systems to monitor and support ethical leadership, including transparent disciplinary processes. The session laid bare the internal realities that have an impact on service delivery and showed that efficiency cannot be achieved without a motivated and supported, well-led workforce. Members of the media, the CPS reiterate its commitment in addressing crime challenges and further implement and improve policing service that will create safer communities and building confidence. I reiterate that as South African Police Service and with our key stakeholders, we are going to come up with an implementation plan that will have time frames which will focus on those areas that we can implement in the immediate, those that we can implement on medium term, and very few there are in the long term. And that plan will then be monitored, as we say, quarterly, where we will ensure that we implement those that affect SAPS. Of course, our stakeholders also, we will assist wherever where they are relevant to do performance in those areas that are relevant to them. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again to the Minister of Police for taking us through the overview of the summit, but more especially focusing on the policing priorities for this administration in the next 5 years. But also to the National Commission of Police for taking us through day by day since the beginning of the policing summit on Tuesday the 8th up until we concluded the summit yesterday. Most of you are very much familiar now because we literally camped with some of the members of the media that are here. Minister, they were with us from Monday evening when we hosted the business dinner with the business community led by a Business Against Crime South Africa. And they were there Tuesday, Wednesday, up until yesterday, very late in the afternoon, they were still with us. And they are still with us here this morning, and we are addressing now South Africa to tell the country where the policing direction is going. Right now, Minister, we are going to be opening the floor for any questions, if there are any. We will run with the drill of introducing the media house that we are representing and pose the question to the panel that is here in front of us. I'm noting one hand at the top, 3. So it's 3 hands in that particular order. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Minister. Oren Singh here at the opening of the policing summit. You spoke about the digitalizing of the docket management system, as well as working closely with the private sector and private businesses to open more forensic labs in each province. We know the issues with the current states of the forensic labs, with only there being 3 in the country at the moment. And you said that you were looking at opening up a